which is going to be between Fancy Cloud Dancers and the Skyborne Rangers. 3 teams signed up, so this will be a 3-round round-robin tournament going into a finals match between the top 2 teams. Now, let's take a look at these teams' loadouts. First off, for Fancy Cloud Dancers, we have the Fancy Hydra module with Mercury Dual Artemis, Hades on the left, Gatling on the right. Their ally is the Bangarang, Gatling Banshee Squid with a rear light carronade. For their opponents, Skyborne Rangers, we see the biggest Venus and Gam, Gatling Banshee Squid with a rear Gatling, and their ally, the Stromello, Lumberjack Hades Banshee with a rear light carronade, and Hwacha. Now, both teams bringing a split team composition, using a Squid as the faster, more mobile initiating ship, and then a Mobula or Judgment as kind of the firepower, the support ship in the back. Now, currently Bangarang, Venus. Venus got boffed, dude. Now, it's kind of an interesting turn of events here, because the Squid, a ship that really has not seen a lot of play these past couple of months, mainly made obsolete by the Fast Alliance Hwacha-bearing ships like the Stormbreaker, like the Shrike. However, Squid was buffed in the last patch. We did see last week Spudnik, pilot of the Bangarang, did bring Squid to a 2nd place finish in that SCS. Now, I am kind of surprised to see Venus's pilot, Solidus Bucket, opting to go Squid as well, because Spudnik has been known to fly Squid. So I would say I'm not as surprised to see it from him, but Venus really getting mowed down here. They do have a position behind Fancy Hydra, but Bangarang is ready to contest them, going for Ram Banshee, finishing them off. It seems like Blue Squid really just not doing anything. The way this match is progressing, the Judgment is just kind of being ignored. Like, they move once the enemy Squid is down, they go in, do a little damage, and then back out. However, this time it seems like they might be able to get a kill on the Judgment. And they do. 3rd point on the board for FCD. Dual Artemis probably helping a lot here in allowing FCD to dual focus the enemy Squid. The Judgment, for whatever reason, they have decided to bring that long-range Judgment without any Artemis. So the only disable capability they have is the Lumberjack and Banshee. Banshee, which doesn't do a lot of damage. The dual Artemis, basically Fancy Hydra is going to have a lot more explosive follow-up damage than the Blue Judgment will, so they will kill the enemy Squid much more quickly. I'm just like, Stromelo's build just doesn't seem real great here. I don't think the Hades makes a lot of sense for a Judgment now. Unless you're going in concert with a Lumberjack. Maybe if you're running Minotaur or some other type of Judgment build. Now, Venus is moving in, once again targeting the Mobula, but Squid is in tow. Bangarang following them up. So we'll see. Fancy Hydra is low, so they could get a kill. Stromelo is focusing them as well. So we could see a true dual focus from Blue Team. But yeah, you see the dual Artemis from Fancy Hydra just keeping the Judgment locked down. Stromelo just doesn't have any way to contest the dual arts. They don't have any gun disable of their own, no shatter damage. And Bangarang's just beating down on Biggest Venus in the Squid duel. Artemis shots, a little bit of split fire from Fancy Hydra, a few shots going to the Squid, while they still keep the Judgment locked down. And now, match point for FCD. This team composition that Skyborne Rangers are bringing really not working out for them. I think Sputnik, Bangarang Pilot, just outclasses Solidus on this ship. And then this Judgment build does not match up at all versus the Mobula, versus the dual arts. They can't do anything. I mean, look at their components on the right side of the screen. Just 3 engines down, 4 guns disabled. They're dead in the water. Venus spawns in. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do enough damage. Stromello gets a guitar off, so that forces Mobula away. Mobula's going to lose their balloon here. Nope, balloon just barely staying up. Might go down to the Banshees. And the blue team does finally get their first point. Mobula dead. Stromello now wallowing in their own tar. We'll see if Biggest Venus, how they do. This will be a true test. Both the Judgment totally disabled, Mobula dead. We'll see who actually wins this squid duel, as Venus has the upper hand here, the vertical advantage with the downward Gatling, but it looks like they're opting to disengage, with Stromello firing some very high upward lumberjack shots, not connecting, but it does do enough to force Bangarang away. They don't want to get dual focused. And Fancy Hydra spawned on the other side of the map. So this is a smart play from Bangarang, knowing that even if they do feel confident that they could win in a squid 1v1, they don't want to. Once the Stromello's guns come into effect, they will make quick work of the red squid. So this map, also Crown Gambit added, I believe it was, 9 days ago, 10 days ago. Second SCS with this map being in the game. A very wide open map. You see there's a lot of terrain that theoretically could be utilized, although we haven't seen a lot of that just yet. Most of it horizontal terrain. So a ship like Mobula, if the red team, if one of the two teams found a good position to try to camp up, they could maybe use some of the terrain for defensive advantage. But in this game, in the games that we've seen so far, mostly teams just opting to fight out in the open, and that's why you see these very standard split speed compositions with a kind of a sniping support ship, because they know they have a lot of open air to work with. Now Bangarang has moved in. They forced the Biggest Venus back. Stromello's getting picked away by the Fancy Hydra. See, yeah, they can't keep those guns up. They just cannot deal with the dual Artemis. Yeah, there's no way they could deal with what the Mobula was packing. And so that's a quick game for Fancy Cloud Dancers going up in this first round of our round-robin tournament.